we begin with our first guest, Sydney, and a pretty darn good one. One ahead of the NHL scoring leaders when we stop playing.
Well, Timmy, I don't know when the next NHL awards ceremony will take place.
Mm-hmm.
But I think there could be, actually I can confirm there's probably going to be an Art Ross in his future and maybe a Hart. Leon Draisaitl of the Edmonton Oilers joining us. Leon, it is great to hear from you, man. How are things with you? How are things with the loved ones?
Yeah, everyone's healthy. Everyone's good. So, yeah, just looking to keep busy in the meanwhile and wait for a decision, I guess. But, yeah, everyone's good over here.
That's awesome. Before we get to hockey, Sid and I have been talking an awful lot about the Bundesliga this week as the football season returns on Saturday. Are you much of a soccer or football fan, as it were?
Yeah, I am. I am a big soccer fan, yeah. Obviously, being from Germany, it's pretty much tradition there. It's a huge part of the country. And so, yeah, I'm a big fan.
All right, so if you're from Cologne, is it easy? Is it the home team? Is it FC Cologne?
Yeah, it's the home team all the way, yeah, definitely.
So which team do you hate the most? Where does the hatred lie?
You know what? I wouldn't say that I'm that much into soccer that I absolutely despise another team. I can't say that, but I'm sure they have their rivalry that kind of like we do with Calgary, I guess.
Understood. Leon Draisaitl joining us here on Tim and Sid. So, can you work on anything hockey-wise in quarantine? Like, what have you been able to do to kind of stay on top of the game while we all kind of sit and wait and hope the world gets good enough till we can return to our sports?
Yeah, it's hard. It's definitely hard. I mean, I've been trying to dangle around my dog a little bit at home. He's stopped me more than I've beaten him, so it's not looking too good right now for me. But no, yeah, I mean, it's tough. Like I said, you're limited. You don't have access to anything. Rollerblades have to do for now. So, yeah, like I said, there's very limited things that you can do.
Leon, forgive me for this question because I feel like I should have asked it earlier. Where are you physically?
I mean,
in Edmonton,
working out pretty much every day. Oh, where am I physically?
Yeah. Which country? Yeah, which country are you in?
Oh, I'm in Canada. I'm not. Right. I didn't go home. There was no point for me personally to go home. So, I stayed here.
Leon, the return to play committee, which has Connor McDavid on it, obviously the discussions are happening constantly. Are you, through texts, trying to get your own agendas into the meetings? Are you asking for a double bye once the playoffs show up? Are there certain things you're suggesting to Connor McDavid in order to potentially push and guide him in certain directions because, well, you know him a little?
Well, I mean, we're obviously in contact constantly. The whole team is. I think the whole league is. We obviously have a team group chat that, we talk about different scenarios, different things on a daily basis. So I'm sure that's the same for every team, for every athlete out there. So, we're just trying to figure this whole thing out. Obviously, Connor's on the committee there, and he has some say in it. So, we're just looking to get back to playing or obviously make the right decisions, whatever it is.
Does it feel like the momentum is starting to build? I mean, we haven't been able to say that we're going to watch soccer ever, and now we're there with the Bundesliga. We haven't been able to say, we've been watching fighting, but Sid and I were just talking about the UFC in the first block. Like, does it feel like momentum is building to a point where you guys might have to make, the choice to go out and play?
It feels like it's moving ahead a little bit, definitely, especially with, my ties to Germany and what I'm reading in the news and that kind of stuff. And, it seems like things are opening up a little bit and it's going at least somewhat in the direction of a normal life. But I think there's still some work to be done in our case in the NHL. And for the time being, all we can do is stay in shape, work out, and stick with it, I guess.
Leon Draisaitl of the Edmonton Oilers here on Tim and Sid. Leon, when we were told you were coming on today, the first, forgive me, Tim, as I reminisce here for a second, the first couple things that jumped into my head were, one, I remember talking to you with Tim after the road trip where you had the 4 goals in Nashville, and you were on quite the run. But I also remember the night of March 11th watching the Jets and you guys on Sportsnet when everything was kind of happening with Rudy Gobert. And it just felt like everyone's mind had gone somewhere else. What do you remember about that Jets game the night before everything shut down? Like, it felt there was a strangeness to the entire evening, and you guys had to still kind of finish a game. Like, take us into how that was.
Yeah, it was strange, definitely. If I'm not mistaken, I think we saw it on TV, or we got the news in the first intermission that the NBA is going to pause their season for now. So we kind of all figured that it'll only be a matter of days until it happens to the NHL as well. So that game was a little, it was a little weird, I must say. I mean, I think it was the same for all the fans in the stands. You can see that everyone was on their phones at all times, and I think everyone kind of knew what was coming. So it was, it was a weird situation for sure.
Do you think you'll ever forget that game?
Well, I think we lost that game because of me. So yeah, I forgot about that game
really quickly. Yeah, I know that when we talked to you, as Sid said, before all this crap hit, you were tearing it up, and obviously, the coronavirus is bigger than everything right now, and we're not suggesting that it's not. But how frustrating has it been for you to kind of have to push pause on what has been an unbelievable season for you and a pretty good one for the team?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely bad timing, no question. More so for our team. I think other than, maybe the last game, we were on a good run, and, we were on a really good way to clinch a playoff spot. And for only the second time in how many years, I don't even know. So we felt good about it. We felt good about our game. And then it was obviously, terrible timing. But again, I think like we all agree, the health of people, the health of the world is just more important at this moment. And, so I think the right decisions were made at that point.
Leon Draisaitl of the Oilers here on Tim and Sid. Leon, the one opinion, listen, in a world where no one knows anything, everyone's allowed an opinion. But the one thing I heard a lot in the early moments is, well, then just cancel the whole season. And the more this went along, I almost got angry at that opinion. Because and take me out of the equation. I know I'm already going to get tweets. Oh, you work for Sports Network. Obviously, you want sports to come back. Yada yada yada. I want everyone to be safe. But I didn't realize what sports meant to me like that until it was taken away. Like, what role do you think hockey in this country, sports in general, will have, hopefully, as things become more and more safe as we go along here? Like, what will the responsibility be for sports, do you think?
Well, I think sports and hockey, especially in Canada, is, I don't want to say it's everything, but in a way it is. I think people, that's what gets them excited. That's what gets them, to sit at home, turn on the TV, cheer on their team, and they get excited for game days every second day, every third day, whatever it is. So I think sports in general has a huge impact on people's lives, and especially hockey in Canada. I think that's, probably the biggest impact that I've ever seen in any country in terms of sports.
Do you feel, and this might be a tough question, I understand it, but do you feel a certain responsibility to provide, like, listen, everyone wants to be healthy, and that's first and foremost, but when you realize that you're in a good spot health-wise, or you feel comfortable with your health and safety in playing, is there somewhat of a responsibility to help provide what you just described?
Yeah, I mean, definitely. I mean, I think people have been bored for a long time, I think, and I think, it gives people a new spark. It gets them excited about something. There's hockey back, there's soccer back, whatever it is. It just gets them a little life, and it gives them something to do. So obviously, I think I'm speaking for all of us as athletes. If we can return, that would, I think, help everyone. And, hopefully we can get to that point.
Leon Draisaitl of the Oilers here on Tim and Sid. Leon, the one thing I have enjoyed, because it's been on every night, has been old games. Because I geek out on old games like that. I don't know if that's everybody, but I enjoy it. Do current members of the Oilers, such as yourself, watch old games with the older Oilers when they won everything? And how does it make you feel to see a building in Edmonton like that, considering you and Connor and that group are young and are very ambitious?
Yeah, I mean, I've been watching it a little bit lately too, actually, the last couple of days, and it's great to see. You can just see the passion in Edmonton, especially, and fans are excited, and obviously we want to get back to those times back in the day when they were winning Stanley Cups and they had a very successful team. So we're excited and we're looking to get back to that.
Leon Draisaitl here on Tim and Sid. Does Datsyuk go into? I know that I nerd out on hockey too, and I've heard that Datsyuk might be your guy. I absolutely love his creativity. Is he your guy, and is that why you're kind of drawn to him, because of his ridiculous creativity?
Yeah, yes, absolutely. He's my absolute hero in terms of hockey, no question. I think I've watched every single video you can find of him on YouTube, and he's always been my favorite. Yeah.
What's your favorite Datsyuk move?
I don't know. I feel like there's too many. I can't even name you one. It's just, it felt like every game he was doing something where you're just like, no one else can do that.
Yeah, and no one else has thought of it. Never mind, no one else can do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Just
Leon, how many times have you run into him? I know the hockey circles can be small. How many times have you run into him? Because if anyone ever comes up to me and they admire me, they're insanely disappointed. I just disappoint them immediately. Have you ever met Pavel?
Yeah, he didn't disappoint.
Nice.
I have met him a few times. He's just like everyone knows. I think he's very quiet. Just a very helpful guy. I actually used to text him a little bit through Jay Woodcroft. He got me his number because he coached him in Detroit, and so he would tell me that, just give him a text, and I'd be so nervous to text him. Like, I didn't know what to say. I was 17 years old, and I texted him, and 2 minutes later, I get a text back, and he's like responsive, like he's just giving me advice. Like, it was amazing. It was great. Just seemed like a phenomenal guy.
I've heard those stories. Before we let you go, we asked Mark Giordano this of the Calgary Flames, so I'll give it to you. Who's the guy on team chat that has kept the boys together? And is there someone on the team chat who is dangerously close to getting kicked off the team chat?
I mean, James Neal, he's up there. He's always got a good one on his tongue. Always a good word of advice, I guess.
Right.
And Zach Cassian, he's just hilarious. Pretty straightforward. So those two guys are Yeah, those two guys entertain the group for sure.
Nice.
So it sounds like you're not going to give us names, but there are a couple of guys about to get muted, right? Like there are a few guys on the chat who just take it a little too far, just text a little too much.
Yeah, I'm sure you guys have a group chat too.
There's always one or two.
Yeah,
always one or two.
Yeah.
Probably
you two guys.
It might be us.
It's usually us. Yeah, it's usually you. Know us too well. You know us too well. Listen, Leon, we appreciate it. And I am an optimist in this moment, not normally in life, but in this moment, I am an optimist, and I cannot wait to be talking about when society is in a place where you guys can get together for some practices and some skates. So I'm really looking forward to that day. Thanks for doing this again. Stay safe, and let's talk again. Appreciate it.
No problem. Yeah, thank you. Thanks for having me. Take care.
Be well.